Hi everyone. If you watched my last video, welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, then I'm glad to have you. So, we talked about in my last video vibrato. I wanted to go off of that a little bit more with something that's almost like vibrato, but with a lot more articulation involved. So today, the extended technique that I'd like to teach you about is growling. Now, growling is not going to be used a lot on tuba, so let's just get that straight. I've only seen it in a handful of songs, maybe 10 or more. A good example of growling would be Slaughter on 10th Avenue. The brass band arrangement of that song uses growling in 2 measures. So what is growling? Well, growling is almost like making the grungiest, grimiest sound on your brass instrument on purpose. It's used a lot in Latin music and in jazz. Like I said, it's not really used a lot in tuba, but on some solo pieces it is going to be required. So the first thing I'd like to start off with is just how to growl without anything at all. So the very basis of growling on your instrument is rolling your R's. If you've ever been in Spanish class, then you know how to roll your R's. You just take the back of your tongue and you just vibrate it against the top of your mouth, like this. Now, if you can't do that, then you're going to have a hard time growling. So that's the very first thing you got to practice, is just rolling your R's and just vibrating the back of your tongue off the top of your mouth. Let's try it again. Okay, so now we got to do that while buzzing. So like in my last video, I always like to start with just the mouthpiece because I think that is the foundation, and if you can't do it into the mouthpiece, it's not a good idea to try it into the instrument. So always start with the mouthpiece. Now, I talked about having the straight buzz. So as always, let's start with the straight buzz. Now, while buzzing and keeping that embouchure, make sure that you keep the corners of your lips firm and that you're keeping a very nice and strong embouchure, not letting any air escape. While keeping that embouchure, try and roll with the back of your tongue. Now it's almost going to sound like my embouchure is breaking up. It's almost going to sound like there's a lot of air getting out and like I'm not getting an actual tone out, but it will become more clear as we play the instrument. So let's take our instrument and play our straight tones, C below the staff. Now let's start with a very steady growl, rolling the R's while keeping that buzz. That was a very subtle one. Now depending on the type of music you're playing, you can get even grungier, because some music will require that kind of harshness to get that tone. Now, that's a very disgusting sound. It doesn't sound pretty at all. But like I said, it's not really supposed to. Now, the cool thing about the growl is that it can be played on almost any partial. Taking Slaughter on 10th Avenue, for example, I played it on a high G. So. Once again, not a very pretty sound, but it was supposed to be harsh, and it was marked triple F whenever I played it in the piece. So if you have any questions about growling or would like a little bit more instruction, please feel free to email me, and I hope you guys tune into my third and final video. Thanks.